LeetCode problem number 198, house robber. So this problem imagines us as a professional robber planning to rob houses along a street. So each house has a certain amount of money, and the only constraint is that we cannot rob adjacent houses, right? Because it will contact the police and blah blah blah. So given an integer array nums, which represents the amount of money of each house, we have to return the maximum amount of money we can rob without alerting the police. Basically meaning without robbing adjacent houses. Okay, so the way I did this was to use, uh, how can I even explain it? But it's basically counting the maximum from the start and then adding it into the vector itself. So as we go on to the later houses, the maximum amount of money we can rob will be in the last house, basically. I think it's better if I show an example instead. So let's say nums is this. So first and second are both 0. So here I have a for loop which iterates through every houses, and here I have a temp value which will store the maximum number of the two houses, right? So let's say the first one is 1. So here I'm checking the maximum number of 1 plus first 0 and 0. So in this case it's 1. So temp will be 1. First will update to second, right? So that's basically the how I update each value. But since both of them are 0, so nothing happens at this line. But here, second becomes temp. Then on the next loop, I is now equals to 1 over here. So again, temp is equals to maximum of 2 plus first is 0 with second. So obviously temp is now 2. First is not equal to second. So I'm moving the number backwards, or more like forward. So basically what this means is that if I were to rob this house, if I were to rob if I were to choose which house I want to rob for this pair, it will be 2, right? Because there are not more money inside. Anyways, let's move on. Maybe with more examples, it will be much clearer. So here I'm checking the maximum again. So 3 plus first is 1, second is 2, right? So here this will be 4 and this will be 2, right? So basically the first pair was this one, and remember that since this was adjacent, we cannot rob this house. So if I want to rob these houses which have 3 money, I cannot rob the second, right? I can only rob the first. So here, so that's why there's 3 1, which gives us a total of 4, and the second, which in this case is just 2, right? So temp is now 4, the first is now second is now temp, and then we move on to the last pair. So again, if I want to rob this house, I cannot rob this, and I can rob this, right? It's 2 1. So temp will reflect that 1 plus first. right? 1 plus the first one, which is 2, with the second, which is 4. So in this case, still the max is 4. Max was 4, right? So in this case, first now becomes second. Second now becomes 10, which is 4. And then we can just return second, which in this case would be 4, right? So from here we know that the highest number, highest amount of money we can rob from these houses is 1 and 3, which gives us the total of 4, right? Okay, let's go through another example. Let's say I have this. So I equals to 1 or 0. So again, I start from the very beginning, where I'm choosing which pair I want to rob. So in this case, temp is the maximum of 2 plus 0. So in this case, temp is 2. First equals to second, second equals to 2. Right. So basically, the second right here would mean it's the second choice. Right. Yeah, I guess you can imagine it that way. So now I becomes 1. So now I'm comparing this number. So temp now equals to 7 plus the first number, which is 0, meaning that there is no previous number before 2, with second, which is 2. So obviously temp, the maximum of 7 and 2 is 7. I shift it around, first now becomes second, second now becomes temp. Right. Increment I, now we are on 9. So on 9, we are checking whether or not if we want to take 9 and 2, or we just want to take 7, right? So if we count temp, I'll move temp up. Right? So temp 9 plus the first, which was 2, if you remember, with second, which was 7. So in this case, temp now becomes 11. First becomes second, second becomes 10, 11, right? So here basically what it means that this 2 and 9 had merged into just 11, right? Just imagine it this way. And then we just continue onwards. 3, now we're looking at this house. So we're looking whether we want to get 3 plus 7 or 9 plus 2. So temp again. Temp again. Maximum of 3 plus 7 compared with 9 plus 2, which is 11, stored in our second. So max becomes 10. So for this case, second is still the highest, meaning 9 plus 2 is higher than 7 plus 3. So we don't do much about it. First equals to second, second equals to 10. Right. So for the last one, we want to check whether or not we want to take 1 plus 9 plus 2, or just straight up 7 plus 3, right? So temp max 1 plus first, which is 11, with second, which is 10. In this case, we all know that 1 plus 11 is 12, is bigger than 10. First becomes second, second becomes temp, which is 12, which is also the maximum amount of money you can rob from these houses. If you get 12, Return second is 12. Okay, that's all I have to show. Thanks.